Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. So, yes, I was on mute. And these things happen when you're doing it all yourself, being the engineer and so forth. But anyway, welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Lunch Date with Cazzy. This is episode 26. So, we made it. I made it. I made it halfway there. So, 26 episodes in. I started this journey at the beginning of February and here we are, 26 episodes in. So kudos to me. Let me give myself some cheers. So I've had a lot of interesting guests. I would love to kind of do like a little bit of a recap. Maybe I'll do that next week. Who knows? But I just want to say thank you for joining me. If you're watching from all over the world, I know I've got my folks tuned in from the UK, from Guyana, from Ghana, from throughout Europe, Germany, Portugal. I know you're all tuned in. Spain, I see you. So thank you very much for tuning in. It is afternoon across the pond, so good afternoon to you, and evening in some places. So good evening to you as well. So if you are celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. If you're celebrating your birthday, if you celebrated this week already, or if you're about to celebrate towards the end of the week, happy birthday to you. I believe we are in Leo season, the spicy Leos. So happy birthday to you guys. Today is Tuesday, July the 30th, and it is the end, practically the end of July already. We got one more day, and then we are into August. And here on the East Coast, we are already in the back to school season. School starts next week. School has already started for some, and school's about to start this week for others. But my God, school is about to start already. So we are in back to school season, and there's lots and lots going on during that season. So a lot has happened actually within the last week. The last time I was here, tuning in from my home, I did a special show number 25, special show from Guyana, where I was last week with the Backyard Cafe, Delvin Adams. So thank you very much for taking the time out to do everything that you did to make me feel welcome during that time. I requested fruits and fish, and he did just that, grilled fish, and I had lots of fruit, mangoes from his tree. Oh my God, do name it. It was absolutely amazing. So, Delvin, thank you very much. If you missed that show and you didn't catch it live, you can see the replays at my YouTube channel, which is Catch the Buzz, which is where we are broadcasting right now for this show, episode 26, with my special guest who is coming to us all the way from Ghana, not Guyana, from Ghana in Africa, the motherland. She is coming all the way from Ghana. So I thank her for her time in spending with us today. Now, there's a couple of things I do want to say before we sort of move ahead. My sponsors, as always, thank you so much to my sponsors. Of course, Brownline. Brownline Enterprises, which is my business. If you're in the business for a resume, if you need your LinkedIn profile to be optimized so that it can get the best out of that social media platform, which is a corporate platform. If you need some interview tips, if you need to know how to write a cover letter and how to network online, I am still available. I'm still doing one-on-one, consultations as well as classes. So if you would like to more information about that, my number is 202-550-2923. Also, if you are thinking of being in a new home by Christmas, I am also a licensed realtor here in Georgia. So please give me a call. We can have I do offer free consultations in home buying, home selling, investment. My number is 202-550-2923. Next up, Bacchanal TV. The show is live on Bacchanal TV and also Clark TV Network as well as YouTube. So for Bacchanal TV, thank you for your sponsorship as well as Clark TV. They are both available right now. You can watch the show on the large screen if you want to watch it on your TV versus your phone or on your tablet. So, Bacchanal TV, thank you for your sponsorship. That is Bacchanal TV, available right now at BACANAL.TV. All of your Caribbean content, all the carnivals. If you would love to visit, I don't know, Antigua Carnival, you want to see what's happening in Antigua, this is a place for you. If you'd like to see what's happening in Grenada, if you've never been to Grenada or St. Lucia or any of the carnival, not just carnivals, but fetes, comedy, various events, all for the Caribbean. It's 100% Caribbean, and that is the Caribbean TV station just for us, Bacchanal TV. Also, the Clark TV network, again, with valuable content from the diaspora, as well as, everyone of culture. So if you would like to catch up on previous shows of the lunch date with Cazzy, my show is on Clark TV. So thank you to Clark TV for that. Always exciting to see what's happening there. Okay, so without further ado, my guest is actually here, so I would like to go ahead and welcome her to the stage. Now, she is coming all the way from Ghana. This is Miss Dacia. So, like I said, today is Tuesday, July 30th. It is 11:08 a.m. here in Atlanta on the East Coast of the United States. It is afternoon where my guest is, all the way in Ghana. So I will bring her to the screen so that we can talk a little bit more and find out everything about her and what's happening. Why are we here today? Why are we having this conversation? You'll find out. So let me bring her to the stage. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss Dacia. How are you?
I'm not used to you calling me Miss Dacia, but it's okay. Carol,
Miss
calling me
Dacia.
Good afternoon.
I thought I would make it that. So after you introduce yourself, then we can relax a little bit more and find out a little bit more about yourself. I know a lot about you, but
I
we have to
know.
introduce you to our guests. So, Miss Dacia, thank you for joining me. I know it is. What time is it now in Ghana?
It's 3 o'clock p.m. Mm-hmm.
3 p.m. Okay, I'm kind of shifting myself, so I got to get right in the center of my own camera. There we go. That's better. Okay, so it's 3 p.m. Oh, well, thank you for joining me. I know that, what do you do now? Do you have like afternoon tea? What would you be doing if you're not here talking to me?
Well, first of all, let me just say you did give birthday greetings, but you didn't
Oh my God.
on Sunday.
Sure
So I
did.
am part of your. Yeah, so my birthday was on Sunday. I celebrated a wonderful birthday here in
Oh,
Ghana. It's
you're a
my second
Leo.
birthday celebration here in Ghana. So yes, you forgot. So it was
Send you a
quite
message.
enjoyable.
Yeah, I forgot to say it here in public.
That's
I
okay.
did send you a message on your actual. So happy birthday, Miss
Right,
Dacia,
that's
Leo,
true.
the best Leo that I
Thank
know.
you.
Happy birthday, darling. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we
It's
are in that.
okay. You're right.
We are in the
I'm
season, the
sorry.
Leo season. I said we are in
Yes,
the Leo season. Okay,
yes,
so
yes, yes.
let me just get to a few things. I know your journey has been amazing in terms of where you are and how you got there and what led to your decision being there. So I want to talk to you a little bit about just emigrating to another country in general, but the type of preparation and mindset that you have to kind of adapt, so to speak, to make a decision like that. I'm, of course, I emigrated here. I'm not from America, so but the move that you made was definitely something to commend you on, because having lived in the States, you are an American citizen and you made that decision to move all the way. Not like you're going to the Caribbean or something close. You went all the way to the motherland, to Ghana. So, what kind of led to that decision to make such a big move? And would you so tell us a little bit about that, please.
Well, first of all, for those of you, well, for no one knows me on this channel, but I am born in Guyana. So I'm originally from Guyana. And then when I was about 7 years old, we migrated to the United States. So I was in the US from 7 years old up until I actually turned 50 in 2022. And I was a pharmacist for 27 years. And the landscape of pharmacy really started to change. The landscape of the US in terms of safety and different things started to change. I got very burned out where I was working, and I just wanted something different. So basically, I told my husband, I said, when I'm 50, I'm done working. So he says, oh, you're done working? Well, we can't stay where we're living, because we were living in downtown Brooklyn. For those of you who know downtown Brooklyn, it's high rises, expensive rent, expensive real estate. So I wasn't able to, so we couldn't stay in Brooklyn and still, have me stop working. So we started to research a couple of places. Ghana just kept coming up. I researched for about a year. And then in 2021, we visited for 10 days. We basically just went to look at real estate, kind of try to understand how it was to live here, get a little bit of a snapshot. And then after, I think day 3, my husband said, oh, yeah, I can move here. So then we just started our plans, and we moved a year later, almost a year to the day later. And, it was really the climate of the US that really kind of like sparked me. There was I don't want to rehash all of the events, because we all know as Black people, we can say their names, backwards and forward, of the people who have died, who've lost their lives senselessly. And I kind of just got tired of that stimulation all the time. It was really affecting me. It was affecting, even just my commute to work. I was afraid. I was worried about maybe something happening to me. And the work didn't make it easier, because it was a very stressful place. Sometimes our patients there got violent as well. So I said, you know what, let's make a change. And what's the worst that could happen? We packed up our stuff. We left, sold some things, kept some things, and we had found our place. We bought a condo here in Ghana, and we moved a year later. And, we haven't looked back since, and haven't regretted much of anything, actually, if anything at all, since moving. So
Wow.
it's been good.
That is such a great decision. Such a great decision. I remember thinking to myself, oh my God. But you know what? You're absolutely right. We're not getting any younger. It's time to like make some decisions and kind of go about it. Not everybody can kind of retire at 50. Of course, some of us have, other things, you know, other responsibilities. But once that gets to a certain stage where you're free to make those types of decisions, why not? You know what I mean? That's
Right.
what I would do. Why not? I still can't understand why people are not taking advantage of going to see the world, just traveling, just seeing what else is out there. Because being in the States is not always it. I know it's a superpower. Everybody wants to come
Exactly.
here, but there's so much to explore as well. If you're able to travel, why not? So you made that
It's
decision.
simpler.
Was that?
Yeah. I said it's simpler. There's a simpler aspect to living in a place like this, and you have to have an open mindset. I mean, I wouldn't say like it's for everyone, because it really isn't. I mean, you have to come here understanding the culture and not being too quick to judge. You have to be able to understand where someone's coming from before you react. In the US, we pretty much react to everything instantaneously without really getting to know the person on the other side, because we have certain expectations as a US culture. But here in Ghana, you have to take a step back because you're not originally from here, and you have to understand where they're coming from before you react. So that was a really big transition for us, but we assimilated very well. We're still learning. We're not 100% into the culture because, of course, you're keeping a lot of your own culture too. But we have really maneuvered well in Ghana so far. So far.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it's a mindset, it's a shift. So it's like, having, for myself, having lived in Guyana during the very early years and then living in England and then living in America, trust me, I have to shift. I've shifted 3 times. And then when I go back to these places to visit, you're shifting again because you have to
Exactly.
remember that what you think and how you do things may not necessarily, the same. I just got back from Guyana. Trust me, there's a lot of
Yes.
shifting going on, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is. But I want to get back to Ghana because I know if any Americans are kind of watching and thinking, wow, I may want to go and visit Ghana. I may want to go and visit another country and perhaps think about moving. Cost of living is probably one of your biggest factors because you've got to have money. And like you said, you don't need a lot of it, but you need enough to be able to get by on things that you appreciate. You have a whole new appreciation for a lot of things. So tell us a little bit about, thinking through the financial side of it too, because that is a huge side that makes.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. So there's a spectrum. Just like in the US, there's a spectrum. You can choose to live in downtown Brooklyn, or you can choose to live upstate New York in Schenectady. That's a wide range of financial responsibility and expectation. Same within Ghana. If you live, for example, in Accra, which is the capital, the main city where everybody goes, the main airport, everything is there, you're going to have a higher rate of, let's say, higher rents. So, for example, I'll give you an idea. There is, for example, a place we were looking at when we first came. It's a condo, center of town, $700,000 USD to live there. 2 bedroom, 700,000 USD. You can buy a mansion for $1 million in Ghana. You can get an acre of land or a plot of land for 250,000 USD. That's in Accra. So if you want to live there, you'll have almost all the amenities that you need. You'll get relatively good roads. You'll get, electricity, internet. You'll get all the amenities, but you're going to pay for it because
Yeah.
all the restaurants are there. The high life, I would say, is over there. But you can also move, a little bit more west, a little bit more east. We moved about an hour out of the city, so things are a little less expensive. However, you can also choose to live, in an area which we chose, was I was not willing to deal with lights out. So my place has lights all the time because I wasn't about to. That was like a non-negotiable for me. I
Blackout.
wanted to
Blackout.
blackout. We call it doom store here in Ghana. Then there's, places in Ghana where you may not have water for 2 or 3 days. That was a non-negotiable for me. And then, it could be an internet. There's so many different things that can happen. So you can rent somewhere for like $300 USD. You can rent something on the higher end. So it's the spectrum. So financially, it all depends on what your savings are like, what your how much you're allotting yourself per month in expenses. If you're traveling, how are you eating? A lot of people here have their own backyards. They grow food, they grow vegetables. If you're buying from the market, it can be very, affordable. If you're going to some place like I went to today, it's called Maxmart, which is I was looking for cheese. I mean, you can buy cheese, you can buy salmon, you can buy everything is here, but it's how you choose to live and what you choose to spend your money on. I would say for a younger person, if you have a remote job that you can work outside, I think it would be absolutely perfect. If you're a retiree and you have either a pension or you have Social Security, you could do very well here in Ghana.
Mm.
And so it all
You know,
depends
I
on
have
what
a
you
remote
want.
job. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking, and I need to start making some decisions. But you know, I've got at least another 4 years when my son is finished with school, and then I
Right.
need to do what I need to do. But anyway,
And you have those obligations. I don't have children, so that wasn't, a decision that I had to make. So all of these things play into the decision and it's all individual. But the
right,
spectrum is definitely there and it is affordable, but you have to set your expectations and don't come here thinking you're going to duplicate your life in the US because
yeah,
it's not going to be that way. You have
it's
to
a bit
make a lot of adjustments. Yeah. Yeah, you do have to
yeah.
make
I
adjustments.
think you know, a lot of because the world seems to be a lot smaller now because we have social
Definitely.
media. You can, get access to so many things. I know you sent me some pictures or some videos. So I want to show some of the pictures, and then we can kind of talk through a lot of what's going on here. Some of your pictures, they're beautiful, by the way.
Thank
Very
you.
cultural. But again, let me just show this. Okay, so again, understanding just what the culture is like. You have to be a lover of nature. So I'm gonna pause here. So tell us what's happening here. I love your clothing and your jewelry, by the way. It is very, very authentic. So what's
Thank
happening?
you. So I visited an area in Ghana known as the Upper East region. It's known as Bolgatanga. And Bolgatanga is an area where they produce, well, Bolgatanga and some of the outskirts, they produce shea butter. They make a lot of the baskets, the bolga baskets, they call them mesh baskets that are made out of like a grass and they're hand woven. So they make a
Yeah.
lot of those things there. So I was invited to a shea butter experience. So you got to see the steps of making shea butter from taking the nut all the way to making the
Oh, oh,
actual
wow.
butter. So these are actually the shea fruits. It starts as a shea fruit. You can eat that. And when you eat it, you taste almost like you taste the shea butter on it as well. So it starts as a fruit, then there's a nut inside, and then they go through the process of grinding, burning, boiling. I mean, the process is intense. So I did that. I think it was 2 months ago or so. I went up there. That area is also very close to the border with Burkina Faso, so we were able to also go across the border to get over to see what's in Burkina. Didn't go very far, but just a couple of feet because I wasn't expecting to go there, so it was kind of a last minute thing. But it's very close to the border. There's a lot of trade and commerce that goes on along the border. Burkina Upper East region is also they have a lot of mud cloth. That's what you see in the background
Yeah, I
here,
was gonna say that's a
and
headcloth.
that mainly comes from Burkina Faso. Yeah, that's mud cloth. So
Great.
we visited a vendor who became a very good friend of mine as well. So we were in his shop. So I was just taking some really nice photos there because his cloths were absolutely beautiful. So I travel a lot to the north because it's just even more simple than anything else. The people are amazing. The weather is very dry, but we had an incredible time. This is on the way we were
Yeah.
driving from the airport, and they're selling this fish. They're trying to get you to
Oh,
buy their fish through the window.
fish. So what is it just dried?
It's a dried fish. Yes, dried. I think it's mackerel or something. I forget the type. And they
Yeah,
use
is
it
it?
in soups a lot here in Ghana. Yeah. I thought it was like a saltfish, like we know in Ghana, but it really isn't. It's like dried and they curl it.
Yeah,
I guess it
okay,
gets
okay.
stacked on each other. And they just sell it off the street. You can get anything that you want on the street in Ghana. Like you could stop at the light, you can get bread, you can get a newspaper, you could get pillows, you could get a fedora, you could get a belt, you can get
Wow, you can literally get
water, you can
clothes.
get everything. Everything.
But you know what?
Huh?
People who don't actually travel don't realize that there's so many similarities um, with this around the world. In countries that Caribbean,
Absolutely.
third world countries and so forth. Because, I remember going to St. Lucia and we can buy bread off the street, like you said. There's people selling you things coming up to your cars. It happens everywhere. It's just a part of life. And it's just, appreciating what other people do to get their money, their hustle. So,
Absolutely. I mean, usually I was a little scared. I would always turn my window up. But after a while, I'm like, oh, what you got here? You got plantain chips? Okay, let me get two. They have something called a bake. It's called a brofruit there. You get your brofoots. You can get something called millet. They make a millet like tea there that you can have in the morning. I mean, you can get anything off of the street. Like you don't have to go through a drive-through. You just turn your window down and point. So
so
it's kind of a unique experience.
it is a unique experience.
Hmm.
This was an interesting video. What's happening here?
Well, that's also one of the part of the shea butter processing.
Oh,
So I believe it's after they ground it, then you have to stir it because what happens is shea butter, it comes this color originally, but you have to keep washing it. So this is like we turn it, and then now after this we wash it. Then you put it in a container with clear water, and then wash it again. It's like about 5 times you have to wash the shea butter in these large buckets and keep going. I mean, it was an experience. You see, I had to roll up my dress because I was smelling full of shea butter. I had shea butter all over my clothes, but it was such a great experience to be doing these with these women. And this is like the livelihood of the women in that particular village is making
yeah.
shea butter. So we were
So
able
you're,
to,
so you're
yeah.
stirring this. You're stirring it? Is it some kind of heat that's underneath, or is it just stirring it with just water to wash it?
No, it's just with water, but it
Oh,
looks like a brownie or something, but it's just the
oh,
shea.
nice. I was thinking, oh, I labeled it chocolate or mixing mud because I didn't know what it was.
No, it's the shea butter, part of the processing of the shea
Wow.
butter. Hmm.
It's
It takes a
amazing. The
lot of work.
shea butter that you buy, when they say it's natural shea butter, none of it seems to have a color. So obviously, it's not like 100% natural. Would you say?
No, no, because it doesn't, it doesn't, after you've washed it a few times, it becomes white. And then you have to boil it, and then you get the top part of the oil, the top part that you kind of like, I think I missed that part because we left, but I think they spoon it out. So it's like that oil that kind of comes to the surface. So this is just part of the process. All shea butter starts this way. But I was able to get shea butter that was made like 2 months ago. And I mean, it's just completely different than one you buy in a store because the
Yeah.
scent is stronger, and it's very natural. It's very close to like the processing time. So it was an amazing experience. I would recommend it to anyone just to really appreciate what these women and men go through to get you shea butter. I mean, it's amazing.
It is
Really,
amazing.
really amazing. Hmm.
So, okay. So I have another video which I thought was really nice, and it shows a whole different part of Ghana that we don't always see.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is a very nice. But where is this?
So this is in the eastern region. So this is in the direction towards Togo. So this is an area. This is a resort that I visited. I took my family there. My sister was here with my nephews and her husband. And this place is called the Aqua Safari. So basically, you go in this place. They have animals running around, horses and donkeys and peacocks and birds and rabbits all running around. They have activities, they have a pool, you can do archery, horseback riding, you can go on jet skis. It's just like a day, an outing for the day if you want to go and hang out with your family. Sorry, I didn't give you pictures of that. I didn't realize it, but
Yeah, no, this is nice.
it's
So
just,
I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, just beautiful. Once you see palm trees and the
yes,
tropics and the
it's
beach and
lovely.
sand and water and the ocean, that alone
Well,
is
that's
all.
actually a lake. That's the
There's
largest lake, man-made lake in Ghana, Volta Lake. So it's on a lake. It's not actually on the sea. So, but it's absolutely breathtaking. Yeah.
It
Very,
kind of
very
reminds
nice.
me of certain places in Guyana, some of the not deserts,
Oh,
like they where
mm-hmm.
where they have to bring in sand and create a resort, and that's okay.
Oh,
I'll take that too. So either way,
yeah, it was
any
amazing.
type of leisure,
Any what?
any type of leisure, I would take that anyway.
Oh, of
Any way,
course. We
shape, or
all
form.
will. We all so there are many places like this in Ghana. This one in particular, I liked it because of the animals, and I wanted to take my nephews there. But there's some that are not as far. They have different things. Some are just pure relaxation, maybe a
Yeah.
few games. Others are very more exclusive, and I mean your drinks are amazing. They have buffet. Like the variety of things that you can do in Ghana is amazing, and my mind is blown. And every time I hear something new, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna visit there. Let me see what it's about. And every time I go, I'm just like, they built this on a bad road behind the bush, and like you open it up, and it's like, aha,
Yeah.
moment. So I've had a lot of those moments here. Yeah. Hmm.
And then, some of the activities that you do. So some of the activities, so I'm taking, you're actually wearing the same clothes of the Shea Butter Day. So I'm thinking this was part of that
Yeah,
experience.
that was the same day. That was the same day. I think a part of the process, they didn't need us. So we were just opting to ride a bicycle. And it just felt so, I don't know, I just felt like a kid again, just riding the bike on a dirt road. And I just went super far. I didn't even want to come back. It was just so, like, I can't explain the feeling. I just absolutely love this part of Ghana and the freedom. I mean, the dirt is the dirt, but
Hey,
it's
listen,
just
mother's good for you.
it's unspoiled. So basically, we were just taking a bit of a break and just riding, and everyone took a turn. So yeah, I think it's someone's bike in the village, and they just let us use it. So
Well, that was cool.
mhm.
So, okay. So what else do we have? We actually have, and then we'll go back to the slides afterwards. So this again, these are the simple parts of life where you just get to enjoy certain things. You couldn't do this just on the street here in the States.
No,
Were you
no helmet,
scared?
no nothing.
Helmet? You got no helmet on? Were you scared?
I was. That's why I said, can you just take me around a little bit just so I can kind of like get the experience? But I really didn't want to go like on the street without a helmet on. So this was one of the vendors in the art center. He actually became a good friend, and he just kind of spun me around. But in the northern region of Ghana, like almost everyone uses motorcycles. There aren't very many cars,
Mhm.
and women especially are on these motorcycles with their babies on the back, and then another kid in the front, no helmet. And like the
That's a
way they drive, like the accidents, you don't even see an accident because everybody's just it's just like flowing. And I'm sitting here panicking, but it's just you're just flowing. Like no one's scared, no one's worried. They
but you
just
know
keep
what?
going. The kids are running on the street. No one hits.
Yeah. Well, that happens also in places like Guyana and so forth, where you see them and there's
Right.
two or three in a bicycle, then one sitting on the handle at the front. That's
Exactly.
a way of life. It
Exactly.
happens, something that we do. And believe it or not, the other cars know to look out for them. I was actually walking in the marketplace when I was in Guyana. It rained almost well, it did rain every single day. And the one day when I
Wow.
was walking in the marketplace, hoping for some sunshine so I could film and record and take pictures and so forth, it started raining. So I'm trying to navigate my way. We're going in and out of the road because the road isn't flooding, but some of the corners are flooding. So I'm trying to walk in the road. The cars know. They know that people are going to be walking in the road, and it's almost like they look out for you.
They
But
slow down.
I've had a lot of near misses where I'm like walking so close to a car, and he's just moving. He's not waiting for me to move because he realized that we can both exist in the same space. This moving car and this walking person. Oh my gosh. But hey, it's all in the name of fun, and it's helpful when you experience so many different cultures and so many different ways of life. It's an education.
Absolutely.
So you sound like you are totally settled in Ghana. I know that you are, planning on doing a trip home soon. We have an event, a pop-up event. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And I'm going to get the slide as we talk to bring that to the stage.
So the came out as a result of traveling to the northern region of Ghana and seeing all of the beautiful artisans and how hard like these people work just to make baskets, to make cowrie necklaces, to make handmade slippers out of recycled tires. I mean, the ingenuity that they have in that part of Ghana like just blew me away, and I was just really inspired by the beauty. And I said, I really want to kind of share this with my family, with my friends, just so that they can understand that people in Ghana are very creative. They just need some more exposure. Now, I know a lot of people know about baskets. I'm sure a lot of people know about the necklaces. We've seen them in other places, but I will say to you that a lot of these things now are starting to be produced in China, and you wouldn't even know the difference,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I can
I-
tell now because I've had experience, but a lot of these patterns and artisan creations are being duplicated in mass factories in China. And one thing especially that kind of threw me was just the material. So a lot of times you're like, oh, it's beautiful material that you can buy in Ghana. It's really cheap. A lot of them are mass produced in China. So I make it my mission only to buy material from people that from a certain couple of places that I know it's actually made in Ghana, made by Ghanaians, dyed by Ghanaians. Like this is called a batik fabric, and it's dyed here in Ghana. And I wanted to bring a lot of these things to the U.S. I'm going to be bringing a lot of chocolates because I know for most of you who don't know, Ghana and the Ivory Coast, the two top producers of cocoa in the entire world. They provide Cadbury and Swiss with all of their chocolates. It comes from here in Ghana, but they have Ghanaian chocolate makers here that don't get as much, exposure. So I'm bringing a lot of those things. There are a lot of handmade fans that seem to be very popular in the U.S. I mean,
Mhm.
women and they're actually sewing these things with their hands, bags, a lot of things that I really wanted to bring to the U.S. to show people it's not just about cloth or not just only baskets, but there's a wide variety of products that people in Ghana are making, and it's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to bring those products, share them, tell the story. I've met a lot of the people who are doing them. I kind of go down to the base, like, oh, where's this from? Who's making it? Let me go see. I was amazed. There's a particular bag that I'm bringing to the U.S. and I found the person who was selling it at a store. I went to
Mhm.
the store. I was asking too many questions. I said, "Oh, just go to the person." Went to the person. He's working in like this back alley, like not even a factory. It's like I mean, I can't even explain the conditions on the road. He was making these beautiful bags, like by hand. I mean, and you just really
Wow.
start to appreciate the beauty that comes out of Ghana. And I really just wanted to share that with everyone.
Yeah,
So
no, I can imagine, and of course, I know you, and I know that I would probably react in the same way just to see the hard work. People don't
mhm,
really understand when you are doing something with your hands. You know what I mean? And you're making something out of nothing with
right,
your bare hands, not a
right.
machine, not
No
in a
machine.
factory, going down a factory line. You know what I mean?
Yes,
The appreciation, and when they price their materials, and they price their art and their craft and their creativity, people complain because they know it comes from a poor country and it can't be
right.
cost that much to make, but it's
Mhm,
what goes into making it. Labor alone is something
yes,
that I would have no problems paying for, and I know the beauty that comes out of it. you know. So,
Yes, absolutely.
so the showcase, the Ghana Authentic Showcase. So this is
Mhm.
going to be a pop-up shop. Um,
Yes,
Labor Day weekend.
September 1st.
In
Yes,
your,
yes.
okay, yeah, September 1st. Okay, so this is exciting. So
Hmm.
what sort of art and creativity can we expect you to have at the showcase?
Well, it's all kind of listed there. I'm not trying to do a lot of one thing. I'm trying to do, different as many different things I possibly can. I mean, as I listed here, they make a lot of spices here in Ghana from like natural products. They have the jewelry they make. I got some stuff as well, one or two things from Burkina Faso because they do trade a lot with in the northern part of Ghana. I mean, the bags and the creativity that they put into these. A lot of people like the U shopper bags that they take to the farmers market and different things like that. Maybe some clothes. I'm kind of contemplating that right now because they do make great fabrics here, as I said, called batik. And no two patterns are alike. Like no one, you'll never see anyone with the same dress that you have because the batik dye is so specific. It's really beautiful. So I wanted to present some of those as well too. So we'll see. I have some things up my sleeve, some extra stuff.
Okay, well, we're excited. I'm going to be at the showcase. I will be in New York for Labor Day weekend. It's always a busy time, especially in the Caribbean calendar. So I
Mhm.
will be there. We have the Caribbean Awards, the Caribbean Music Awards, happening on the Thursday, which is I think it's was it August the 30th, maybe? Yeah, 30th, I think. Oh no, sorry, it's the 29th. It's
Right.
August 29th. On Friday, which is the 30th, there's a showcase, a soca showcase. I love my soca. And I've got the chance to go backstage and kind of meet with Patrice Roberts and some of the big names in soca and reggae. It's going to be a reggae showcase. Saturday, we tend to do a brunch cruise in the morning, and then in the evening, the one and only Marshall Montano will be at the Apollo.
Oh wow.
Here I'm
Okay.
plugged for them, but Marshall Montana will be at the Apollo, so I was lucky to get tickets for that as well. If I get to meet the big man again, I've met him before, but would be nice to meet him. Of course, I'm going to bring some footage on one of my shows so that you can experience that as well. And then, of course, Sunday. If you're around on Sunday, September the 1st, you've got the Ghana Authentic Showcase. Make sure you come out, support. I love this picture as well with your hand. Such a great picture. This is a
That's
really
shea butter, raw shea butter on my hand.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is such a great picture. So if you are in the New York area and you're looking for things that are authentic, like 100% authentic from Ghana, from the motherland, Miss DACIA will have them on hand on the September the 1st, 2024. If there's anything that you like, anything that you're interested in, you can't get a chance to come, to go send somebody. It's open to the public. It's a free event open to the public. Now, I don't see a time on here, or unless I'm blind. Oh, I see.
10 a.m. Mhm.
Okay, so you're literally doing this all day. You're
Yeah.
going to be out there selling all day long.
Right.
So, okay, okay. Well, we will be there. We will absolutely be there. So, moving on to, you said you were there in Ghana with your husband. Now, I know that you guys do a, you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
The
Yes. Yes.
channel is really kind of trying to navigate this whole move and encourage others to probably look into perhaps doing the same thing if they are so desired. So tell us a little bit about the podcast and the name of the channel and how we can follow you.
Well, the name of the channel is called Off the Wheel. So off the wheel, for those of you who don't know, the hamster wheel that you're constantly working, paying bills just to do it all over again. So we wanted to get off the wheel. So that's why the channel is called Off the Wheel. And basically it follows our journey from Brooklyn, where we were thinking about it, all the way to when we actually arrived in Ghana. And then now we're actually living in Ghana. The channel is divided by season. So season 1 is before we left. Season 2 is when we arrived and we were assimilating. And now season 3 is like, we're settled and we're really talking about the nitty gritty of Ghana, things that people, may not know about Ghana, some of our experiences as well. Our latest video was called If Not, I think it's If Not Ghana or If Not Africa, Where? So it
Mm.
basically talks about, our experiences, what people can expect about, from the transition, about moving. And it was actually a very well received video. If you've never seen our channel, I would suggest you start from episode one. But if not, you can go to the latest episode and you can really get a deeper understanding of some of the things that we deal with and try to explain some of the recent press that has been circulating about Ghana, and people with bad experience always get the most light all the time. So
Yeah.
we touched on that as well. Mm-hmm.
And I love it because you have a lot of followers, so a lot of people are interested in this, and I know it's only going to grow from there because as you get to a particular age, like you said, especially when it starts with a five. When that age starts with a five, you start to really evaluate, okay, what am I doing with my life? Where do I want to be for the next, 10, maybe 15 years? Even beyond that, because you look at what I consider good years, and then you've got the years that are not so good, where as you get older, where you may have some aches and pains or different other things that you have to deal with. So,
Aches and pains started already.
well, that's true. In some cases, in some people, the aches and pains have started already, but I would say that the good years from 50 and above, give it about 50 and maybe 20, right? Between 50 and 70. Though you've got to get up now. You got to start making your
Yeah.
plans now. You can't just up and go. You do have to put
Yes.
some planning in. And you're right, it does take a year. I remember when I moved from England to the States. I'm going from two, superpowers. I still took a year to kind of shut
Yes.
everything down in the UK, shut everything down in London, and then have a plan for the first week, the first month, the first 2 months for when I'm in the States. You can't come and sit and do nothing. You still got to
Exactly.
work, you still got to get money, you still got to get a way of living. So it's not an easy decision, but when you make it, you got to go full speed, and it will take a year.
Absolutely.
It
A
will
lot
take
of
a
people that have come to Ghana, we've come across, they'll decide to move, never visit, and just move. Like, you have to come, you have to visit. We only visited once,
Mhm.
but it was an intense visit. And then we, continued to research, and then we actually moved. For me, I think it was a little bit easier because, with the Guyanese background, a lot of things were so similar. So I had a certain expectation. And surprisingly, my husband assimilated quite quickly as well. But a lot of people come, and just move. They pick where they want to live. And a lot of people are trying to go in the remote areas and not realize that remote is remote, and
Yeah.
they aren't prepared for that. So I would say that if you're thinking about moving to either Ghana or another African country, definitely visit first. Really different, look at different neighborhoods, speak to people who are actually from where you're from and how they're adjusting here,
Mhm.
and don't make a rash decision because you will be you'll have an unpleasant experience if you don't plan properly for a move like this, because it is cultural, it's driving is different, everything is different. So you have to really plan it and be prepared to, handle whatever life throws at you, and have a good support system. It's really, really important.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, luckily for you, your husband and you both support each other, because you need that extra pair of eyes, you need the extra pair of ears with everything that you do anyway. So a big move like that definitely helps if you're doing it with someone, whether it's a best friend, your husband, your spouse, somebody. But you gotta get it going. You gotta get it going, and of course, do all of the research. So, Miss
Yes.
Daisy, I'm just gonna off the wheel. So it's at their YouTube is at off the wheel. Do you have any other pages for people to follow you, to follow your journey? Uh, TikTok?
Well, we have Off the Wheel on Instagram, and we also have Off the Wheel on the YouTube channel, Ghana Authentic on Instagram as well. So we'll be putting a lot more products on there. And lastly, for a lot of people who are coming to Ghana, a lot of our followers, they stay at our Airbnb because we kind of give them a little bit of a soft landing in here in Ghana, let them understand the landscape, and tap into us for questions. So we also have that Airbnb as well. I'll give it to you so you can put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
And we welcome visitors. We love when people stay with us because we get to hear about what's going on in the U.S. and their experiences and why they're thinking about it. Huh?
The craziness of what's going on in the US.
Craziness everywhere. Craziness everywhere. But it's nice to hear people's perspectives and their reasons for even thinking about moving. We provide, a lot of people are afraid when they come to Africa. They're like scared, a lot of people, but there's nothing to fear. Everything is fine here in Ghana. But if you're afraid, you can stay at our Airbnb and you'll be all good.
Yeah, no, and it's good that you offer that service because yeah, that would definitely make people feel even more comfortable knowing that they can come and talk to you. You got access to you at any time, questions, and so forth. Absolutely. I'm showing some of my slides from previous shows. This is a show which I
Oh,
did
okay.
Thursday. So this is a special edition, episode 25 of Backyard Cafe with Delvin Adams. And I did a great tour of his cafe. And let me tell you, if you're talking authentic, this is a place
Yes, I
literally
have heard. I couldn't get a reservation when I came, so
you can. Practically, we've got three tables, and they're all three big
I,
tables.
I
But
know.
so that's why he's booked out months in advance because it is definitely a staple in Guyana. So if you missed the show, please go on to YouTube, catch the buzz with an extra Z at the end, and watch the show again. And also follow him at
Okay.
backyardcafe.gy. So let me see. So what's coming up? Okay, so Mr. Tipper Irie. This was another show I did about 3 weeks ago now. His book, Stick to My Roots by Tipper Irie, is an autobiography. Please go and support this man. This man is a legend, a UK reggae legend. Funny enough, after the show, I had a call from three different promoters who are they're ready to bring Mr. Tipper Irie to Atlanta, to New Orleans, so that he can perform because they recognize the excellence in this man. So I'm very happy that it worked out for him. His book "Stick to My Roots" is available on Amazon, both in the UK and the US. So support the man, support. Now, Nando's. So we're talking about Africa. This is from South Africa. Actually, this is a South Africa um, fast food, if you like, great fast food called Nando's. It has been around for I don't know 40, maybe 50 years. It's been in the UK for about 30 years, and it's slowly making its way over to the US. You have them in New York, you have them in Washington, D.C., and I'm so happy to say that, of course, Cassie B and the promo show and the lunch date series, we were invited to
Oh,
a party by Nando's because they are about to open right here in Atlanta, Georgia at the
okay.
end of August. So we are invited to a party for your spice. I actually have all these bottles of Nando's, they sell them in Kroger. So you get them in the supermarket, but to actually get to the restaurant and experience it and have that peri peri chicken all the way from South Africa, you have got to support Nando's. I hope they invite me back when they're actually open. So, I'm giving them a plug. But trust and believe me, Nando's. You've got to go visit Nando's. Secondly, this also is up. Miss Pinky Cole, she is the owner of
Oh,
Slim Vegan. And
yes.
then this is her second bar. She's got this new concept called Bar Vegan. The second concept, the second location in Lawrenceville that is about to open this weekend. And hello, she invited myself, the promo show, and the lunch date. Yes, I gotta give myself let me give myself some cheers. Okay, so I was invited and I took my friend along to the soft launch, if you like, of Bar Vegan last week, or was it the week before? It was before I went to Guyana, just to sample their, what they had a kind of a small drill down, strict menu. So my friend and I just had one thing from the menu, okay, and then we gave them our feedback. We had to fill in a note, a piece of paper with some feedback. Now the feedback only had blocks for us to either tick between 1 and 5 or something like that. Girl, my friend and I wrote an essay. We did PTO, please turn over, and at the back of the sheet, we wrote down all the do's and don'ts and what we thought. And you know what? They appreciated it so much. She has invited me back to come back
Nice.
tomorrow, in fact, for an actual soft opening to get a free meal. I don't know what they've changed or what's happened, but the ambience was really, really good. It's live music. It's just beautiful. But there were certain things that I told them that they could tweak just to make it even better.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm
She's
eager to
doing
go back.
amazing.
Oh yeah, she's like I don't even think she's 40, and for all the things that she has done, there's so many lucky vegans. It's lucky vegan in the airport. She's got an airport location, and so this bar vegan is a whole new concept with live music and everything vegan. Right up my alley. This is just perfect for me. So I'm excited for this. So thank you for the invite, Miss Pinky Cole. This is at the Brooklyn Museum. So this is your Labor Day weekend on the Friday. And the promoter of this event is a friend of mine. So my friend and I will be at this event. Like I said, we're going to be backstage. I can see Patrice Roberts, Mikael Taja, there's Christopher Martin, there's Farmer Nappy, Mr. Killer. A lot of my favorites, and I can't wait to see them. They are all going to be here at this event. And this event is now coming back after the pandemic. So it's going to be a big deal to have over 15 artists performing on Friday, the 30th of August, Soca Fest at the Brooklyn Museum, right there on Eastern Parkway. Oh my God, this is definitely bringing back some memories. Eastern Parkway. This is where I used to be on Utica Avenue, right there on Eastern Parkway. So this is gonna be interesting. So Friday, August the 30th, come and join me at the Brooklyn Museum. Like I said, if you're in the market for a resume or if you're looking for a home, I could switch between one and the other. Just contact me, 202-550-2923. Subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of craziness on there, good, bad, and ugly, but it's all fun and it's all in the name of fun. And of course, my sponsors, Clark TV Network and Bacchanal TV. Thank you both for your sponsorship. So, Miss Dacia, it's always a
Thank you.
pleasure to speak to you. I love when we have our conversations because let me tell you, it's just full of, we just laugh. There's so many things,
Chock
so
full, chock full.
yeah, there's so many things to talk about. There's so many things to laugh about. I mean, the world is, oh my gosh, there's so much happening in the world. Okay, good, bad, and ugly. I do want to mention one thing though, and I know that you may or may not have heard of this story, but I, was watching, and I think I also posted about Sonia Massey, the young lady who called the police to her home to help her, because she thought there was an intruder in her house. And of course, she ended up, you know, dead and shot. The police officer, actually, I should say gunned down, which is the correct term. The police officer is actually in custody right now because he, should not even have been in law enforcement. He should not even have had a job. He has been to 6 different agencies. They kind of know about this man, and here he is. He was left to, be um, dispatched to her home, and look at the results. So we've got to keep Sonia Massey's name. We cannot let this happen again. Her name has to continue. I know that we're in a Kamala Harris season right now, which is another big name we want to keep out there in the news because we want, her to be victorious. I am definitely going to be voting for Kamala. Not because you know, I think I think she can do the job. Put it that way. I do think she can do the job. I don't know if America is ready for a woman president as yet. However, for me, it's anyone but Trump. And if anybody else is stepping up to the plate, which they're not, it's going to be Kamala Harris. I know there's a lot of information that we need to research about Kamala Harris. We don't know a lot about her and her history as a prosecutor. People are, kind of split down the middle right now, but I think, eventually she can win everyone over come November. But I am definitely not voting for Trump. And I will say that out loud. And I want to urge all of my followers and my, people who watch my shows, go and research Project 2025. There's a lot about Project 2025 that people need to just kind of educate themselves on. A lot's happening. There's an agenda, and we just need to be able to, get informed about this agenda. Trump is definitely part of this agenda. So for that reason alone, I'm definitely going to be voting for Kamala Harris. And that's my reason. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it. Okay.
And that's the end of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, any final thoughts? Any final words on your showcase or just Ghana itself? Why should people come to visit Ghana?
Just my final word is Ghana is beautiful, Africa is beautiful. Don't listen to what you hear on TV about the continent. And you will be pleasantly surprised. I guarantee it. It's worth the trip. It's worth the expense to actually be in a place where you see brown people and you just feel at home. And on this continent, you're not Black. You're just you. You're not identified. What am I? You're just you. And I think when you visit, you'll feel it. You'll feel the earth. You'll feel the ancestors around you, and it will be a life-changing experience. You don't have to move here, but if you can, anytime in your life, please consider visiting. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, again, Off the Wheel, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Take a look at our videos. We do answer a lot of questions, but if you have more, just put a question in a comment and we will definitely get back with you. So visit Ghana. That's all I can say. Yes.
I love
Visit us.
Ghana. Yes. You know what? You can put me down for next year. I told you this year without. I got way too much traveling.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, a couple other places. I got about 3 more trips planned between now and the end of the year. So
All right.
this year, I am there. I am there in Ghana. I've heard so many great things about Ghana. And like you said, you're not Black. You're not a color. You're not anything. You're just human. And that's how they treat everybody. Everybody, you're just, you're a person. You're human. You see that, not like people will be so surprised. They just need to get out of America and go and see the world, go and just experience culture. I love the nature. Anyone who knows me know that whenever I go to Guyana or anywhere in the Caribbean, because and I've been to Ethiopia and I did go kind of walking around, but not too far because I was by myself. But anywhere in the Caribbean, I love to go and walk around the markets, go to the locals, go and support the vendors. I don't go and shop in the international stores and buy anything. I want to get everything authentic, including the food.
And it's possible here for certain. Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So visit Ghana, everybody. Visit Ghana. Well, Miss DACIA, thank you so much for your time. I know it's afternoon. It's 12:04 here on the Eastern Coast in the U.S. So thank you so much for your time. It's probably 4 o'clock there now, 4 p.m.
Yes. Dinner time.
In Ghana. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. That is my time. I don't want the TV stations to cut me off, so I'm 5 minutes over. So let me respect everyone's time. Thank you for joining me. And again, everybody, thank you. So we're going to remove DACIA from the stage. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. This is Cazzy B. I am Cazzy B. I will be back next week, Tuesday. I should have a guest all the way from London, actually, next Tuesday. So I will just stay locked in to my. You see, look, I've already got London behind me as well. So stay locked in to my page. I will have a guest all the way from London, and we're going to talk about everything to do with Notting Hill Carnival and all the good stuff that's coming up in the UK as always. So that is my time. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m., same time, same place, and I will catch you then. So make sure you stay locked into my channel. Like I said, I will have a lot of different things that I'm going to bring to the stage, people to interview, just so many things that's coming up. So I just want to say, I'm going to love you and leave you. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.